Hey everyone, this is Charles Smith here, and I'd like to show you this excellent condition, beautiful 1989 Lincoln Town Car Signature Series that I purchased on eBay. I was born in the 1990s, so this car, being from the 80s, is a little before my time. However, ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted a square body Lincoln like this. When I was about 7 or 8, I promised myself that this would be my first car. I wasn't going to let anything stop me from getting this car. I had so many people, parents, relatives, older friends, well-meaning, were telling me, you're not going to want this car. Even some my age, they were like, what do you want an old car like this for? It's going to break down, you're going to have so much problems. Well, to the contrary, I didn't. I went and did what I wanted. I bought this car. This was ultimately my first car at age 21, and I couldn't be happier. This is one awesome car. I bought this at first because I like the way it looked. I love the square body. This Lincoln seems to be very serious, luxurious, and it commands the attention that it deserves. What first caught my attention to this car was the Rolls Royce style grille. It always reminded me of a very expensive looking car, and that in itself was just an eye-catching appeal to me. But when I bought this car, I've gotten so much more than I expected. This car is very advanced for its time, and I think I made an excellent decision in getting this car. And even better than that, getting it on eBay, I was pretty much risk-free. I was able to scour the web looking for exactly the car that I wanted to have, and they have buyer's protection, so it protects me if the car doesn't come, if it doesn't run. So I figured it was a risk well worth taking. By the way, I got this car for only $2,800 from a guy in Colorado, and it got shipped all the way to Philadelphia to me. Now, the seller did disclose that there were two things on this car that do not work, and that is the trunk key lock entry, but that's no problem because I can still unlock the trunk using a keyless entry remote or the keypad on the car, as well as using the trunk release button inside the vehicle. And the second thing that does not work is the powered antenna, which is not a problem because I can still pull it up and down by hand. Okay, so let's get down to the review. When you first approach the driver's side of this car, you'll notice these 5 keypad numbers. This is the keypad combination entry. In the event that you leave your keys in the car, you can still unlock the vehicle using a 5-digit combination. You can also lock your vehicle and also open the trunk, as well as unlock all 4 doors. So this feature is still available on Ford and Lincolns today. As mentioned before, this car is very advanced for its time. It has heated mirrors, powered omnidirectional mirrors, and right here, what you see here with the Lincoln emblem on it is an outdoor external temperature gauge, and it measures in both Fahrenheit and Celsius degrees. Okay, when you open the driver's door, there is a bit of a cracked tear here around the leather armrest in the door, but the rest of the car interiorly is spotless. The entire vehicle, even the undercarriage, is rust-free. Once inside this 1989 town car, you are greeted by a wonderful blue interior and nice and comfortable plush velvet seats. Here's a preview of the back seat of the car. It's even more comfortable in the back. I haven't gotten a chance to ride in it, but I've sat back there and it's pretty comfortable. For the record, no one I know has stepped up to drive me in this car. They just feel it's too big and intimidating. So I just had to sit back and imagine. By the way, the headliner is in awesome shape for this year. The town car also features standard front powered seats. I didn't know they had that feature at that time. There are a lot of new cars that my friends and family have that don't even have powered seats. So it has a front tilt option. It also has a rear tilt, forward, back, up, and down. This is what blew me away when I got in this car. And here are the omnidirectional powered mirrors. Now, if I thought that was something, if that weren't enough, here's where the wow factor really shot out for me. When I seen this, my mouth almost dropped to the floor. This is a digital instrument panel. Fully intuitive, available way back in 1989. In fact, even available as early as the 1970s. It tells you so many different things. This is actually my most favorite feature of all in the 89 Town Car. You have your miles per hour in digital format. You also have distance to empty. You can see exactly how many miles you can go on a tank of gasoline to empty. Your checkout feature, which tells you pertinent information of your car's health, your oil pressure, your engine temperature, and the like. Also, you have your digital clock feature. This button here is the advanced feature. Fuel economy, this lets you know exactly how much gas you're burning at the current rate of speed you're traveling. This is a programmable distance and time, estimated time of arrival. This is a pre-programmed feature that you can set according to the time that you leave and what time you expect to arrive at your destination. And lastly, you have the reset button, which allows you to reset certain features. The fuel economy on this car is very impressive. 19 miles per gallon, and this is city miles right here. The average expected fuel economy for this car is usually between 16 to 18 miles per gallon. I've even had a chance to get this car up to 20 miles per gallon fuel economy. By the way, I do use synthetic oil, and the last owner had used synthetic as well. By the way, this car has, on its original engine, 91,947 original miles, and that is very good for a car of this age. And let's look at the checkout feature. Here's some information which is very intuitive for a car of this year. Miles to destination. I haven't programmed that. It reminds you to turn on headlights when it's dark. Press brake. The door is closed. Whenever you see a check mark and an OK, that means everything's fine. If it blinks, that means you have to check it out. So that's good. It reminds you things such as your headlights are working, tail lights. Now let's start it up. The steering on this thing is very smooth. Not too loose, not too tight. You can basically steer this thing with one finger. Sorry about that, I got a little carried away with the horn. I love that horn. By the way, that's not the car's original horn. That's actually a Delco Remy horn from a late 90s Cadillac. That is a 4-note, which includes a A, C, D, and F note. And that's what gives its big, hollow, high notes with a harmonious sound. And it just gives the Cadillac or Lincoln big attention it deserves. It sounds much better than the single note horn my car originally came with. Now, what's funny is this. I think the digital dash is the best feature of this car. But for some strange reason, everyone is wowed by this feature. For the life of me, I cannot understand. But everyone thinks this is like absolutely the coolest thing on this car. The fact that I can control both of my windows to double window with one power window button. I guess usually because it was expected as in times past, that second window near the mirror usually pops out by hand, manually. But this whole window is controlled by one motor, and when you roll up the power window all the way, it takes both windows up. When you roll down it this way, it takes down the little window first, and then the big window. Too many people were playing around with this. I had to just, tell them to be careful. They want to break this. Right here you have your standard steering wheel controls, your window wash, turn signals. Above is the high and low head beams and the headlights right there. And over here you can also adjust your steering wheel. You can tilt it. You have the cruise control buttons to set to accelerate to a certain speed and to lock it in. This car also features an electrochromic auto-dimming rear view mirror. The purpose of this mirror is to dim the oncoming or the traffic's headlights behind you, which may cause a little bit of glare, and so the mirror actually gets darker, and it's supposed to deflect a lot of the glare that comes in at night and other times. Right here you have the mirror. Now let's take a look at the back seat, shall we? Let's take a closer look. Right here is just the only blemish in the back seat of the car. It's a little tape right there, but Other than that, the back seat is completely spotless. Right here you have on the two back seats, you have a little fold there where you can put in magazines or books or anything in a little pouch side pocket there. And you have right here the lights. You can adjust lights here. There's a small light you can put on, which should be serving as a reading light. And your rear window button. Right here is a cigarette ashtray and a cigarette lighter. By the way, there are cigarette lighters in each door except the driver's side. This is pretty cool because I don't smoke, most of my friends don't smoke, and no one in my family smokes. However, these can be taken out and converted right now for modern day chargers for your cell phones and tablets and other devices. So I plan on keeping that in for decoration, but just keeping that and using those as chargers. And here is the armrest of the back seat. Also, as a side note, these seats aren't dirty if you see some uneven spots in the fabric. This is actually velvet, so that's why the material looks like that. It looks like it's dirt, but it's not right there. And let's take a look at the back right seat. It's very nice. Very comfortable. They don't make cars like this anymore. It's obvious to see. Very nice style. Now let's look at the front passenger side. Here you have a nice, long, wide front end dashboard, and you have bench seating. Something that was always popular of the cars in the past. Here's the glove box right here. And that yellow button there is actually the trunk release. So when you want to open the trunk, that's what you press. It's in a different spot than what the newer cars have it, where it's usually in the driver's side. And in here are all the original manuals of the 1989 Lincoln Town Car. They were well kept, in really good condition. And here's the leather booklet right here, as well as some of the key information unique to this model town car. The sound system on this car is actually really good, although it's not original. It's an Alpine Sirius XM radio, Bluetooth receiver. You can make phone calls on it, you can listen to music, also with a USB flash drive. That's usually my preferred way of doing that, listening through a flash drive. I didn't buy this. This was pre-installed by the seller before me. So let's check out an eclectic collection of my favorite music. Sound test.
Black and yellow, black and
So let's take a look under the hood, shall we? The seller replaced all AC lines, hoses, plugs, and wires along with a new fuel filter, radiator, and alternator. Now let's start it up again. It starts up very nicely. It's normal, powerful, strong, just as it should. I've gotten a lot of compliments for this car when different ones looked under the hood. They were surprised at how clean this car was. Very well kept for a 1989. In fact, it was cleaner than this. I actually bought this car 7 months ago. It's a little dusty, but this thing was everything was completely shiny black. Very well kept car. This car features a 4-speed automatic transmission. The transmission has been completely rebuilt in the last few years. And last but not least, ultimately it has a 5.0 liter Ford V8 electronic fuel injection engine capable of up to 150 horsepower. Also, this has the trailer towing package as well. I have yet to use it. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at the trunk. The back trunk is very massive. It has ample storage space, and it is very well kept. Here's a spare tire right here. This is a full-size spare, by the way. It's not a white wall, as far as I can see. This back trunk is very clean, spotless. That little fold right there is what you use so that you can get to the antenna mast. This has ample storage space. Actually, this was the last vehicle in its kind to have this type of cubic inch storage space, all the way up until its discontinuation in 2011 along with its Ford and Mercury counterparts. This concludes this video of the 1989 Lincoln Town Car. I'm Charles Smith. Thanks for watching.